Okay, I am live. 1 minute early for Rick's Life as I see it. Hey, Ohio 45.
Okay, I'm live.
Oops, done it again.
1 minute.
There we go. I always forget to mute the YouTube page. All right, back again. Let me get this going. So I can see what I'm doing. Unfortunately, Hangouts won't let me send out invitations. So I don't know how to get hold of anybody. People I want to get hold of is not in the chat list down there. But that's okay. They will show up eventually, hopefully. If they don't, that's okay too. So let me see. What am I going to talk about today? Well, how can I put this? I am still a member of the NRA. And I plan on staying a member of the NRA for two reasons. One, to belong to the gun club I belong to go shooting like I do every day. You have to be a member of the NRA, an active member. Otherwise, you can't join. Two, I also support other organizations like the GOA and the Second Amendment and a couple of actual local ones, Rhode Island Rifle and Revolver Association and all that stuff. And but I don't know if they have any representation in Washington. Any lobbyists by the NRA have. It's great having tons of members and having a organization. We do not back down. You know? And I honestly agree. I don't want to back down for anything either. You know, our right, shall not be infringed. I believe it means exactly what it says. But for me to claim that, and I totally wholeheartedly believe it with all my heart, it shall not be infringed. Who in the hell has GOA got in Washington that's pushing that? I've looked. I can't find anybody unless I'm looking in the wrong places. And the only people that have it is the NRA, as far as I can tell. I could be totally wrong. I could be, maybe I'm looking in the wrong places. Because, I try to search all this stuff before I say anything. And also, what I was going to say here, I wrote this little thing down the other day when I was so goddamn mad. Let's see if it makes any sense today. And I watched that Gun Collective bullshit the other night. And unfortunately, I feel I should have watched it direct on their channel. Not watched it through Yankees podcast. Because he kept opening his goddamn mouth and I couldn't hear what was being said. I know 90% of it was crap. I really know that. But man, he was going on and on and on. Like, listen to me. I am God. I know what the NRA is. I know what's best for us. Well, I'm sorry to tell you, Yankee, you don't. You're just just a loud mouth like the rest of us who has no clout. Yes, you got following, great. I don't. Big deal. But you ain't got no more pull than I have. Anyway, that's where I was. I said I wanted to quit this whole gun channels thing and even doing my podcast here. I was so disgusted and all this. Yes, okay, so you don't want to be a member of the NRA. Great. Don't be. Quit. I had no problem with it. And they keep saying we're not divided. Maybe we're not. Maybe this divide has always been there. We have our little internal fightings on it all the time. But right now, it's become public. What was the old saying that, don't hang out your dirty laundry to your neighbors or whatever, what's going on in your house? That's what we're doing, and the anti-gunners are loving it. They don't have to do a goddamn thing because we're doing it to ourselves. And, I mean, that's what I find so frustrating. I mean, even Matt was going along with it, Yankee, which kind of upset me a little. But then again, Matt came out the other day with his do his Capitol thing on the November 5th, which I think is a pretty good idea. I'm going to research that for Rhode Island here to see if anyone's going to do it. But I guess Americans over here have a different idea what November the 5th is. Guy Fawkes, and they go 5th of November stand for liberty. No, don't. Guy Fawkes tried to assassinate the King of England back in what, 1605, was it? And it wasn't a thing that the rest of the country wanted. It was just some guy who was pissed off at him, was trying to get back at him. So Guy Fawkes was hung. And why it's celebrated in England, I don't know. It just caught on, even because I grew up there. And I remember the week leading up to Guy Fawkes, you used to make a scarecrow, stuff pants and a shirt and a head, stand on a corner and go penny for the guy, and people would lob pennies into your bucket, and that was to buy fireworks for the November 5th night when you had fireworks. The fireworks were the sort of like get the celebration of Parliament blowing up. I mean, that's what it was all about when I lived in England anyway. It might have changed over the years. It means something different. It's anyway, that was just a side note. Also, I mean, maybe I need to, like I said, I don't know who's the GOA's lobbyist in Washington. I couldn't find one, but maybe there is one. Also, people need to be careful in their rants. Even myself. I mean, like the other day, I think it was in Matt's show, or it might have been somebody in the chat said Ted Nugent for NRA president. And Matt said, oh, yeah, something about that. Then Yankee comes out with, he's a child molester or some shit. And as it turns out, he was trying to hook up with a 17, 18-year-old, and he was 30. Technically, under the law, maybe that is called an act. But I thought 16 was the age, legal age. But, yeah, I mean, that's I know guys that go out with girls that are 20 years younger than they are. But, see, saying stuff out of context like that is wrong. And that's what I truly believe. Now, here I am preaching, and I say a lot of shit wrong. So, but from now on, I'm going to try to be better at it. I'm just going to give my opinion and checked on the facts that I know. And if I'm wrong, please pull me up on it. I need to, Also, I watched that, believe it or not, I sat through the 53 minutes of the Hickok 45 with his son. Yeah, the first 5 minutes of it were hard to watch. All of it was, I've always liked Hickok. And I understand, personally, when I was in some other chat the other night, and they were reviewing what he said. And they would come out and say something, but you had to listen to the whole thing and do it in the flow he was going with. Stopping and saying, he said this. You're missing sort of like the what's the body language, the facial expressions, and all this kind of stuff. when he was saying his stuff. You know, I mean, I don't know if he is the biggest gun channel on YouTube, but he's got what, 2.5 million subscribers? You know, I wish I had 50. And hey, Michael, good to see you. And in his videos, he very rarely tries to go political. And then he has these little things every now and then, these vlogs, or he has another one where he goes shooting the breeze, where all he does sits there and talks. And he gets political in some of them on what he believes. You know, but he doesn't air his views really on his videos. He stays neutral. Is that right or wrong? I don't know. It works for him. He's the one with 2.5 million viewers, not me. So it must be working for him. Yes, lately he's been pushing the NRA. You know, because yes, I mean I would imagine for everyone that subscribes through his page, he gets a kickback. And his son do that YouTube channel full time. It is their job. You know, so they got to make money out of it. I mean, I don't anymore, but if I was working, I would have to go to work 8 hours a day, 5 days a week to make money. And all they're doing is they're just doing it that way. Well, I do for entertainment, they do for a living. So I have no problem with them getting money. And they always say where their stuff comes from. Just because you don't like those companies doesn't mean that they're assholes. You know, there's certain people that say, you know, Bud's gun sucks. I mean, literally, I have bought, out of my 9 weapons I bought 5 from Bud's gun. And I have not had one goddamn problem. Not one. So, to me, they're an A+ company. But to somebody else, their gun might have shown up and they had a scratch on it, so they got pissed off, sent it back, that kind of stuff. When you think about the amount of stuff they're going through, you are going to get mistakes and problems. It's just the size of them, you know. But anyway, I digress again. That's what I wrote the other day, you know. So, but then the other night, I see a couple of YouTube things out there where certain individuals are saying almost the same thing they said a couple of nights earlier, but said it in a different tone, in a different manner. Not that jam it down your throat. Who do you think you are? Ha, 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 I'm better than you attitude. You know, so basically they were backpedaling because they knew they stepped over the line and they needed to backtrack. That's my take on it, but I couldn't be wrong. You know, I don't know. It's to me, it's all got out of hand. We need to go back just to what we're doing, protecting our gun rights and talking about it. And, you know, you support who you support. So you don't like the NRA, you don't like the GOA or whatever. You can say I don't like the NRA. I don't like the Guns of America or whatever. By all means, state it. But you don't have to do a goddamn 10-minute rendition of why. You know, maybe you could do it, you know, on a different format than what you're there to do. So I just find it very annoying. I really do. Or am I being too sensitive? Maybe I am. You know, like I said, as I said, this is name of my channel is Rick's Life as I See It. And to be honest with you, I stole that title from I think I mentioned it before. I don't know if everybody's listening to me now knows I'm in a 12-step program. November the 3rd, I'll have 20 years without taking a drink. And I'm very proud of that fact. But that title comes from a book written by the co-founder of Alcoholics Anonymous, Bill W. It's actually, it's Bill W's As I See It. And it's a book on quotes and letters and stuff that he wrote over his years while he was alive, his 30-odd years while he was alive in AA. So that's where I got it from. So, I admit that. But where I'm going is maybe I've got soft or in all these years I've been doing this. Because, I used to be a real take no crap, loudmouth. Some people may say I still am. But I'm more forgiving now. I try not to take the high road too much. And I don't know. I feel it's made me a better person. But where I was trying to go with this is I'm trying to, how can I put it? I'm trying to think of the right word I'm looking for. Nah, it's gone. If it comes back to me, I'll jump back into it. But all I'm saying is we can all get on together here. We can all do our own thing. I think I've become very mellow over the years. Now, is that because of not, being in that fellowship? Or is it because I'm just getting old and can't be bothered anymore? I don't know. But that's, I'll listen to people. I even get, in the old days, I would tell you to go F yourself without even listening to you. Because I had a one-track mind. I knew what I wanted and what I wanted, when I wanted it, and how I wanted it, and I was right. But I don't do that anymore. Or try not to. I'm not saying I'm not perfect. I do fall sometimes, going back in some of my old ways in my attitudes. But, yeah, I went totally off topic with that one. Jesus Christ. When I was, I've been watching the news lately, and we got they're back onto the Hillary and the Russian scandal and the uranium, And I'm not only listening to it on the news. Unfortunately, you're only hearing it on Fox because the other stations aren't really reporting it that much. But I've done research on the internet, trying to follow something and try to read behind the in between the lines and stuff. Yeah, personally, it needs to be looked at. But do heads need to roll now? I don't know. Yes and no. I am glad she is not the president of the United States. I have no problem with a woman being president of the United States, but not her. I feel she was, shady. I felt she would do underhanded stuff. She smiles at you. At the same time, she's got her buddies behind you stabbing you in the back. That's how I felt about her. So, do we still need to punish her more than we do? Maybe we need to slap her down some because, tell her to go into retirement, enjoy your $54 million that you made out of being a politician, doing government work. I worked for the government for 20 years. I was a government employee. I wasn't allowed to take money from anybody or anything. And, maybe I should have started a foundation. And then maybe that's how I could have got away with it. I don't know. It looks improper. And I was always told when I worked for the government, you shouldn't even give the impression that you're doing something wrong. And I know that from firsthand experience, because I mean, one time I got into trouble for that at work. Not that I did anything, but I was associating with a person that was not highly thought of by certain people in where I was working at. And it came back to haunt me a little bit. Because one day, don't forget me, I was no secret agent or anything. I was a goddamn meat manager in a commissary supermarket for the military. But it came back to haunt me when I was talking to somebody a few years later on, saying, yeah, took me ages to get promoted up to this position. And they said, yeah, well, that's because you're associated with so-and-so. It wasn't looking good. Now, that shouldn't happen in real life, but it does. And so should that happen to Hillary? Maybe. I don't know. I really don't know. I got a lot of don't-knows today. I really don't know. As I said when I said my opening line, I'm still a member. Hey, congratulations, Michael, for that. I was going to lie my own statement, and I'm still a member of the NRA. I mean, I listened to a YouTube message the other day by Billy Burzdell, and he seemed to make sense to me. And is the NRA perfect? No, far from it. Are they going to make mistakes in the future? Yes, they are. I mean, another thing, too, is like on that gun collective thing. There was some guy there waffling on about how great they are, and he's had dinner with Wayne, and he's a great guy and everything else. He earns money. He earns good money for what he does. Is he overpaid? Are we overpaying them for that position? Maybe we are. I don't know. But can you get a person in that position for less money? That is the question. What is the going rate for somebody who has that kind of clout in Washington? I don't know. Now, I'm willing to pay it. Is he the best? I don't know. He knows how to do a speech. This last one was a bit of a, I believe they were trying to. I honestly believe they weren't giving in. I believe they were trying to deflect it. Trying to send it back to the ATF. ATF to come back with, say, no, it's not it does not turn on the semi-automatic into a machine gun. Fully automatic. Now I think that's what they wanted, then hoping it would die there. But like anything else, that ain't gonna happen. It didn't work. It backfired on them. So they take all the heat for it, Let's fire them. They ain't no good. I quit. I'm going to burn my NRA flag. Go for it. But as I said before, who else we got in Washington? And do they have 5 million still? According to some people, they got less than that. But you know what? I would guarantee. Mind you, here I am spewing facts I'm not sure of without looking them up. But I wouldn't be surprised. Hey, Grim, I wouldn't be surprised if the NRA, oh, I lost my page here. If the NRA membership I'm trying to do something here. Oh, silly me. Come on now. There we go. If anybody wants to come in and join me. Okay. Where I was at. Where I was going with this is I wouldn't be surprised that at least 50% of the membership of Guns of America are also NRA members. So that doesn't make that organization that big, does it? Is it really? If you look at it from that point of view, take the people who are NRA members out of the equation. How many members do they actually have? So there we go. Another good of Rick's Life as I See It quote. Whether it makes any sense, I don't know. Oh, slightly good news, though. Whether it will actually happen or it's a trick. Did you see that? What's his name? Oh, Chuck, what's his name? The New York senator telling his people to back off on gun control bills. That's not what they're interested in right now. There was a couple other things they wanted to work on more than pushing gun control. So if that's the case and they don't push it, that'd be great. So anyway, that's what I read the other day. And if that is true, that will be fantastic. But will we get our stuff pushed through? I don't think so. Not now. Not after Vegas, unfortunately. And I still think talking about people that need to go, I think Paul Ryan needs to go. I really do. He has no intentions of bringing up any gun bills this year, next year, or ever. Because he really is not a Second Amendment guy, i.e. he believes in the Second Amendment as a Republican, right? But he doesn't live and breathe it like we do as gun owners who have seen our, rights being eroded away. People are trying to make the Second Amendment a sub-amendment. You know, it's in the Bill of Rights. It's right next to the First Amendment, the Third Amendment, and the Fourth Amendment. Those are God-given. And all the Bill of Rights is, I mean, I'm preaching to the choir here. We all know what it means. You know, is guaranteeing to keep what was given to us so freely. But, you know, people want to change the second. They like the other, you know, front runners. But for some reason, when it comes to guns, they're opposed to it. I don't know why. I really don't. But there you go. And also the what else was I going to mention? There was something else I saw the other night. Oh, yeah. What's his name? Solis. Is that how you pronounce it? The one that was shot. Now, he's pro-Second Amendment. But I don't think he can. I mean, unfortunately, he works for Ryan. So I don't think he's going to be able to help us get anything done. But if I read my thing right, what did Grim say? Yeah, you're right there, Grib. Yeah, but if I was reading up on this, like I keep getting I haven't had one for a while. Updates on HR 38, National Reciprocity. I believe it's got 212 co-sponsors. Now the magic number is 218, and I think when it gets 218, Paul Ryan can't stop it from going to the committee. I mean, the committee can stop it once it hits there, but at least it will be dusted off and moved, from the dusty shelf it's on now to another clean shelf to gather more dust. But you understand what I'm saying? But 218, I can't remember the word they use, but it has to be looked at or has to be moved or challenged or something. I have to reread it because I read that a few weeks ago, and I went, so we just need a few more things on there. Hey, you never know, it might happen, but I can't see it. But then again, it might. I mean, the NRA are pushing it, and to me, that's somebody. I mean, the NRA's got more power than I have in the sense that they're in Washington. They got the contacts. All I've got is my little community right here. Oh, talking about Rhode Island. The latest now is there's a bunch of bills waiting to be introduced from Parliament. Our Parliament's broke up for actually, our Parliament don't come back together now until January. Can you believe that crap? So anyway, Rhode Island, they got a whole bunch of bills getting ready lined up. The biggest one they're pushing this year in Rhode Island, Moms for Action or whatever the name is they want a gun registry in Rhode Island here. That's number one on their priorities. Get a gun registration. Number two on their list of what they want to get done this year is lower the capacity of magazines to maximum of 10 rounds. Because nobody needs 30 rounds to go hunting a deer. That's actually how they worded it. And the third one, which scares me, is they want to repeal, is that the right word? Concealed carry in the state of Rhode Island for you can't do it anymore. I mean, that's the kind of stuff. Now, I mean, that's what's happening at this state level. And it's scary. It is scary. And somebody said to me the other day, why don't you just leave up here? Well, I've lived here. Let's see. I've lived here 18 years now. Before I moved up here to New England, I lived in Georgia, believe it or not, just outside of Atlanta. But I wasn't into guns then. Now, saw some relatives who live in Indiana. Now that's where my father came from. These are relatives on my father's side. Now, the last time I saw these people was 20 years ago. I mean, that's how close-knit our family is. You know, we were never a close family. We were never a huggy-kissy type family anyway. Even growing up, we were never like that. So, but when I went back and saw them, you know, they want me to come and live in Indiana. Because my father, I mean, my father died maybe 6-7 years ago. He was well thought of in their family thing. And a lot of the, how can I put it? I would be a reminder of him, I guess, because I'm his son. Maybe that's what they're thinking. I don't know. You know, and I told him, find me somewhere to live where I can, you know, go out in my backyard, pull my pistol out and start shooting, and I'd be there. As I said, I live here. I've lived here for 18 years, but I have no family here whatsoever. My sons live in Florida. So I couldn't move to Florida. I've thought about it, you know, and I still might do it. But I guess it's not that I got comfortable here. Yes, I have. But I have, and unless Michael might understand, but as I told you, that I'm in a fellowship, a 12-step program. That fellowship is unbelievable. I mean, I've got so many friends now that it's unreal. Yes, I can make more new friends when I move somewhere else. But, you know, when you bought, I guess I don't want to use, trying to think, is you have a bond with these people when you've gone through getting sober together and this kind of stuff. And we watch each other grow and change and things happen in our life and stuff like that. That's one of the reasons why I stay. Is it a good reason? At the moment, it is. But honestly, if my cousins and aunts and uncles or whatever in Indiana say, we found you a place, you know, I would definitely consider it. So, I don't know. In Indiana, I mean, when I was in Indiana, it was, they were pretty gun friendly. Which I liked. You know, they were gun friendly in Florida too, except they were they're strict. They're on the how can I put it? On the concealed carry. I mean, if you accidentally show your gun, like you're lifting to the top shelf and your shirt raises up and they can see your gun. In Florida, oh my God, it gets your ass in trouble big time. You know? Yes, here in Rhode Island, you're not meant to do it either. But it's not a, you know, people ain't calling up the police saying, oh God, he's got a gun. You know, Well, it hasn't happened yet. I mean, I've done it. You know, I was because as you all know, I'm disabled. I can't walk very well. I was in Walmart on the. I was riding around on the old electric cart doing my grocery shopping. I come whizzing around the corner of the frozen food section, and some lady cut in front of me until those things stopped on a dime. But as I come whizzing around the corner and stopped, I jolted, and somehow my magazine, my spare magazine that I had in my belt came loose and went flying across the supermarket floor. That was embarrassing, you know. But some guy picked it up and handed it back to me. I said, thank you. I said, and I told a white lie. I said, damn, I forgot I had that on me. I just come from the range, because it's either in trying to explain I'm concealed carrying, it's legal and all this crap. So, I mean, and that lady was fine with it, and she went on her way, But those kind of things happen to me all the time. They even happened to me in Florida. Oh, man, I thought I was going to get in trouble that time. Luckily, my son managed to cover it up. I was getting ready to get into another electric cart I had because we were going somewhere. And I was wearing short pants because it was 90 degrees out there. I pulled up my shorts, my pants, because they were falling down. And I had my gun in my waist, and I was using one of them, they were like sticky holsters that use friction just to sit there. But as I pulled up my pants, I forgot about it, pulled it up. That thing dropped right down my leg outside the bottom of my shorts and hit the ground. Holster and all. When it hit, my son happened to be looking at me, and he had something in his hand, and he threw it over it for nobody would see it. Because I said in Florida they get kind of touchy about that kind of stuff. But I don't know if anybody else has things like this happen to them, but I do. And people, and some of my friends go in the gun community, go, oh, I wouldn't say that to anybody, But hell, I'm an open book today. I try not to do stuff like that, but I try not to hide anything. Because I learned secrets will kill you. Eventually. No matter how, I mean, those aren't bad ones, but it's another fellowship quote. You're only as sick as your darkest secrets, type thing. I'm an open book. Ask me anything, I'll tell you. I even mentioned it on this show months ago. I think it was on this show months ago. I mean, I am guilty of a negligent discharge in the house, in my apartment here. It was when lucky I didn't shoot myself or anybody else. Thank God. Lucky I didn't get arrested because I live in a town, a small town, but there's a town ordinance, but what's the word I'm looking for? You guys know what I mean. That says you can't discharge a firearm inside the town limits. Well, I'm definitely inside the town limits. So lucky nobody reported it. But what happened was, it was early on. I think it was the second week I had my gun, my 45. And it was loaded. One in the chamber. And I was actually I'm trying to remember what I was doing. Oh yeah, I was standing up in my holster, and somehow I dropped it, or let go of it, or slipped. Like, for lack of a better term, I went to catch it, and when I caught it, my finger was right in the trigger guard, and I pulled the trigger. Got it. It missed my television so close, I could swear it left burn marks on it. And it went out through my living room wall and buried itself in the grass. Because I went out there and you could see where it dug itself a furrow in the grass. You know, I patched the hole up. I didn't say anything to anybody. Nobody reported me. But I done it. You know? I am not perfect. I learned that a long time ago too. I make mistakes. Hey, if you guys got any questions, you can always just type them in there or whatever, and I'll see if I can answer them for you. Or you want me to talk about some subject, and I'll do that. Yes, I'm basically a guns channel. You name it, as Rick sees it. So I talk about anything, really. You know, my life as I go on. Not people like listening to my life. Hey, a lot of people don't believe half of my life. You know, where I've been. I mean, people laugh at me when I tell them that, unfortunately, we didn't get off the airplane, but I actually landed. Talk a big story. We were flying my mother, my brother and sister, and myself were flying to the Philippines, Clark Air Base, and that's where my father was stationed. We were going over there to live, you know, and somehow they got the flights all screwed up. We sat in Thailand for a day and a half. Basically, what the problem was my mother. She was British, and she was flying on a British passport in some country where I think it was actually Thailand. We're having troubles with her passport. They wouldn't let her in the country or some shit, or wouldn't let her go through. Anyway, or they put us on a military aircraft carrier. We were sitting there, because you sit backwards in those damn things too. And a bunch of young soldiers came on and filled the rest of the plane up. I mean, I was, 12, 13 at the time, I think. Somewhere around there. And I was loving it. You know, now these guys, I mean, because as you know, the average age of the soldier in Vietnam was 19. So there wasn't a real big age difference. So I was loving it. Listening to these guys and stuff. Well, as we're flying, we knew we were going to fly to Saigon. Then from Saigon on to the Philippines. Well, as we're coming into Saigon, the captain comes back of the airplane, you know, comes back and speaks to my mother and tells her we're not stopping. We were going to stop in Saigon for, you know, refueling and all this kind of stuff. He goes, we're not stopping because there is bombing in Saigon. So, of course, my mother's freaking out now. He says, we're going to land, let these guys out, then take off again. Now, as a 11, 12-year-old, that was the most exciting shit I've ever seen. And it still is to this day. I remember, and only had a couple of windows on this airplane. And as we're coming and landing, we're going down the runway, and you could see sort of like the light going off in the distance, which were bombs going off and stuff. And this is where it really gets cool, is as we're taxiing it up, and the plane's getting slower and slower, and the whole back end drops down. Because I told you it was a troop carrier thing. And this old sergeant major jumps on the airplane, and he says to these young guys, "Hey, guys," he says, when your ass hits that tarmac, he said, you better be running. And he said, move out. And they all come out, and they all took off. They all went running. The plane, when the last guy stepped off, the plane started off again. The thing came up, and we took off. Now, people think I'm a liar. Call me a liar over that one. But it's the odds honest truth. That's the kind of stuff that I, in my life. They wonder why I drink. And I've been in hurricanes, I've been in tornadoes, I've been in earthquakes. I've been in, I think it was a 0.6 when we were in the Philippines. It was during the day at school, and the school cracked right down the center. It was, it was definitely an exciting life as a kid. Moving every 3 years. I've been to more places, more countries by the time I was 16 than most people go in a lifetime. So I don't know. I'm just waffling on now. I really am. That's all I'm doing. I'm just waffling on. So people, a bit more about me and all that stuff. Then, of course, I was still in high school when my father finally retired from the military. And as I said, my mother was English, so they wanted to retire to England. I mean, I didn't have much choice in the matter at the time, so went to live in England. And it's like anything else. My family was there. Of course, now, don't forget, my family was there, immediate family, mother, father, my brother, and sister. Plus, then we had all my relatives on my mother's side were around us. So you get used to it. It's placing or whatever. I mean, I finished school, got a job, and all this time. But during all this time, I never disowned being an American. I've always claimed I'm an American, and I am. I got an American passport. I got an American birth certificate. It's an American born abroad, I think is what it's called. Because I was born to an American, and I was born on American soil in England. Because most military bases in England belong to the British government. They're RAF bases. So you got like RAF Lakenheath and this kind of stuff. Well, where I was born back in the day, the actual government, the Air Force, rented this property and built this base on it. And so it was USAF. The actual name of the base was South Ruislip. Well, it wasn't a very nice name, but it was USAF South Ruislip. And so under NATO law, or whatever, it makes it American soil. So technically, I was born on American soil. And there's actually one base still left in England today that is owned by the American government. And it's in a place called High Wycombe. And what it was the command center for all the bombers during the Second World War. It actually sits on top of a big giant hill, and it goes down 6 stories underground. And there's a war room there and everything else. And like you see in the old World War II movies, where you see the people standing around in the room, the big map in the center there, and people moving planes and stuff about. It had that in there, because I've seen the history, I've seen the pictures of it. Then when the cruise missiles became big over in England at the time, it got changed to the command center for those. But it actually belongs to the U.S. government, the actual base does. Anyway, that's a bit of trivia for you. Have you ever asked that question? There is a base over there. Anyway, my time is about up, I believe. I think my hour is about over. I mean, I could go, as I was telling Michael, not Michael, John Z, who normally joins me here, but it's pretty soon I might be able to run longer if people want me to. But right now, when I close down here, I have a friend. As you know, I mean, as I said, I'm disabled. I can barely walk, but I got a friend who's even worse off than I am. You know, he's only got months to live, to be honest with you. And so I normally go see him on Saturday afternoons after I finish this I finish this podcast here. You know, that's why I only keep it to an hour. But he's gone. I'm still going to see him today. But he's actually been put into a home now. You know, like hospice type thing. Kind of sad, really, but I've been going to see him during the week. I go there a couple of times a week now, which is easier than going on Saturday afternoons. But I promised I would stop by today. So pretty soon I'll be able to go longer if people want me to. But for right now, it's an hour. And I got, it's 3:55. I'm running out of things to talk about. You know, I said my piece earlier on about how I felt about all the other stuff. So I am just going to, you know, basically, if I start, you know, I think we need to come together as a gun community. We have our differences, as I said earlier. If you don't want to belong to the NRA, then don't belong to it. But we still need to stick together on the Second Amendment and no compromise. And I believe with that. We shouldn't give, I mean, because when you think about it, they say compromise. Whatever has the anti-gunners ever given up? Nothing. They've always taken. We're the ones that always give up. To me, that ain't compromise. So, and to be realistic, I mean, this is how I feel, is I do not believe in my lifetime that we're ever going to get total freedom on the Second Amendment like it's written. We're not going to be able to go down to the local gun store and buy a machine gun. I'm sorry, it just ain't going to happen. Is it wrong? Is it right? No, not according to the Second Amendment. But that's reality. You know, that's going to be a hard one to. That would be a hard one to push, to get through. You know, oh, I would love. I mean, would I buy a machine gun if I was allowed to and they weren't expensive as they are now? You know what I'm saying? They were like the normal price of an AR, a good quality AR. You know, would I buy one? Yeah, more than likely. You know, but I still think, I mean, really, it's a way, money-wise, it's a waste of ammunition. You go through it too fast. You know? Also, when you think about it, most of your what you call it, your like police and stuff like that, don't even have fully automatic. They have semi. Easier to control what you're shooting at. Hey, Tony.
Hey, Rick.
No, I didn't see you, and how long you been sitting up there? I'm almost coming to an end here.
I can't ever remember to jump in here.
Yeah, sorry about that. I'm just winding it up, to be honest with you.
That's all right. Just want to show them here.
So, yeah, I appreciate you joining. You know, I was having a rant earlier on, so you didn't really miss much. Then I just spent a half hour going over Rick's life, what I've done in my life. You know, because I was running out of topics. So normally what I do is during the week I sit here with my pad and anything gun related that I think about or I heard about or read about, I'll write it down to talk about it. Do that this week. Most of what I've written down was my rant on what's been going on, you know, between the channels yelling at each other and all that kind of stuff. We need to get over that and just concentrate on working together to save the Second Amendment. So, anyway, it's 4 o'clock. So, my hour is up, and I explained why I can't go any longer today. So, I appreciate all you guys who did show up. Really just to see you. As somebody actually likes listening to me waffling on. And I really do, and you don't know, I really do appreciate you guys showing up. It sort of makes it all worth it. And I will be here next week. So, thank you all. And as I used to say in my videos, and I haven't made a video in a while, I've only been doing these weekly things, but I think I'll go back to making videos. And what I used to say at the end was, America, be careful out there. See you next week.
Good day, everybody.